So that you have some notes, so it's not like in 1 year after that.
Okay.
It's hard to remember everything when it's right in the moment. So I was just going to go over with you what Remi practiced,
Okay.
and then bring her out to show it to you. And then take her home.
Perfect.
Remind me, did she already have her other 2 weeks scheduled yet?
Not yet, I need to do it,
Okay,
yeah.
sounds good. With her, what we jumped into was marker word. That's where we start every dog. So
Okay.
that's yes. If you heard people do yes, yes to the dog, it's the same idea as clicker training.
Okay.
Without clicker. You don't have to have another item on you. It's just your voice. So we want her to associate whenever she hears yes, a treat's coming.
Okay.
A good thing's coming. Praise, food, kibble, whatever. For her, that clicked really nice.
Okay.
Super easy to practice when you get home. All you gotta do is she's there, yes, and feed. Yes,
Okay.
and feed. She doesn't have to be doing anything.
Okay.
Now, if she's jumping or doing something we don't want her to do, we wait. That behavior stops. Yes.
Okay.
So that one you just practice the first couple of days she's home. Make sure she's used to it. We like to have a fun game called the yes test. So when you're just watching TV, hanging out around the house, she's doing her own thing. Yes. And if she's like, then we know it's working and she knows what that means.
Okay.
We can work her up to that. So she started there, she knows that something's coming, but reinforcing that, making sure marker word is the best thing ever for her
Okay.
will help us out. And then we moved on to focus and attention. So for that, we actually use Remi because it's what she'll hear most of her life.
Okay.
So when she hears Remi, we're looking for eye contact, and then she'll get that yes. So we use kibble when she comes back. She'll use her daily food.
Okay.
Instead of giving her the bowl that she can just have whenever, we feed it to her via training. So if
Okay.
she's like, I'm not really hungry right now, that's fine. We'll save it for later. Try in a little while.
Okay.
Still not hungry? Fine. We'll save it for later. So we just work with her to increase her motivation.
Okay.
And then it also gives us a way to pay her with something we always have. She always got to eat. So if we can make that motivational experience fun, exciting, training good, that's exciting for her. And then we know the big one that you want to work on is the joint. So we have a couple solutions that we can start practicing, see which one we like the best and what helps her the most. So of course here at the den, all of our staff know that we talk, no touch, no nothing unless all four are on the floor.
Okay.
So that helps just consistency wise, making sure all the guests, any family members know if she jumps, lifts up, anything like that, goes on the couch, we don't allow it. No talk, no touch, she doesn't exist.
Okay.
When we have someone that gives her the, oh, no, off, pushing off, she got what she wanted, some form of attention. She just needed a little something. So it's hard because our instinct is to be like, no. But for them, they're like, I got it,
Yeah.
talked. So we just have to practice hypnosis until we get that behavior, and then they can have all the love in the world, unless they jump again. So for her, that level of excitement is important to monitor. She just wants to know.
Yeah.
So when she jumps, she's asking for attention. We tell her no attention until we get sit or just all four on the floor. Attention. Now for her, that attention, she's pretty calm. If we come in, good girl, she will jump right back up because she's like, yay, I did it. We just have to monitor ourselves of saying, okay, well, for her, one singular pet versus is still love.
Okay.
It's still in her brain, it's like, yes, mom loves me.
Okay.
So as long as we tailor our number, we like to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So if when she's on the ground, no paws are flying up, she's at a 3, chilling. Now we're getting to a 4, maybe we see a little bit wiggly. 5, start to bounce. 6, 7, 8, she dumping, getting your face, getting down. All that. If we can keep her at that 3 or 4, excited, but we're not jumping, great.
Okay.
If we notice that's 5, we need to realize maybe our energy, calm down. And that's just important, especially for little kids, guests like that. When they get super excited, she's excited too.
Yeah.
So she's like, let me match this energy. So we have to check ourselves and be like, she's really cute. So sometimes, especially for guests, that's literally just one body count. For new people, that's like, this is a new world for her.
Yeah.
So she might just be able to get it. That's all right now. But that's okay. She'll eventually age and be able to take more pets, more scrub and all of that.
Yeah.
But right now, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so much excitement. But one of the methods we use too is she already knows a little bit of sitting down. So we would call her to us, ask her to sit instead of jumping. Because if we gave her something to do before she could decide to jump, she was like, oh, it's sit. So it helps them be like, auto go-to is not to put my paws up. Okay. I'll have Nikki show you when we get her in here too another method we thought would be beneficial, especially when you're like, okay, ask her to do the sit and pay attention and all of this. When she's running up, you just got home and you know she's gonna be pumped up, treats on the floor. That will train her memory to be like, run towards mom, look there.
Okay.
And I mean, even if she runs right up to you and is like, feet, that's at least better than getting knocked out, you know? So we will just help her realize everything good happens when you sit on the ground.
Okay.
Treats fall and just randomly appear. I pet you, ooh, but when we lift up, that's when everything stops and the fun ends.
Okay.
So it's just being consistent with that. If we have a guest over that really likes her, she's jumping and they're loving expectation, she might try that on me tomorrow because she just practiced again.
Yeah.
So for her, it's especially, she's so young that it's like anytime it does work, she's gonna be like, let me try it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So we just have to be like, everybody on the same page, all fours on the floors, less, no talk, no touch.
Okay.
We also introduced her to the play spot, so we're gonna show you that. She's in the very early stages of that. We just wanna make sure the dogs are comfortable walking on and off of it. And the idea there is that when she gets that skill built up in her next couple weeks, she'll go to the place, we can do what we need to do, and then when she hears her word free, that's when she's allowed to come on.
Okay.
So when they're on the place, they can be sitting, they can be laying down on the mat. Over here, when all four paws are up there, that's kind of like a little cloud that they stay on, and then that allows us to say, yes, this committee report, she's in the place, yes, enter, she's not on the face, or maybe we have someone who doesn't like dogs. That just gives us a little bit more control in situations like that, or something like that, where she's not.
Yeah.
But I think that's most of what we've covered so far, and we'll get her out and do her thing. The only important thing when we bring her out is I won't allow her to come directly to you, because, well, she's jumping.
Yeah.
She's gonna be pumped up to see mom. I've got her kibble. I always inform parents, if she doesn't perform how you want her to, don't worry, try her home.
Yeah.
Because she's been practicing with just me, and now mom's here. Oh my gosh, mom is here. So it's just a lot for them to raise that level of distraction to be like, the most important person is right here. So for her, I will walk up to you. If I can get a little bit of loose leash or maybe some attention from her, then I'll progress closer. And if I see any jumping or too much excitement or distraction from her in that distance, all I'm wanting is to let her know that, hey, when we pull, when we jump, I'm happy to go to
Okay.
But if we get a little bit better behavior, we can totally go see mom and let her go. That just helps them reinforce kind of the same idea with like leash pulling. When we let them get to the thing they were pulling to, yes, we win.
Yeah.
For them, if we say, can't go see it until you walk next to my side, that's kind of what we're practicing with her.
Okay.
You get to go to mom, as soon as I can just get a little bit of it.
So if she's like walking on a walk, is there something I need to, because she'll wanna like get, half the time I'll walk in the middle of the street so she doesn't try to get grass stuff. Is there something I need to do?
So we will definitely work on that in her second week. The
Okay.
loose leash walking really comes into play second, third week.
Okay.
But I would encourage you during those times that she's like set on something way over there, we stop for a little post, and then we'll wait for her attention, we can get her back to us, if not, we just back up. The more distance we create from what she's distracted by,
Gotcha.
the further we are, the more it's like, no, it's way over there. Add some distance, if she does a sit, gives you down, something, get some obedience, and then we can go see it, awesome, as a reward. So for her, if she pulls and pulls and pulls and gets to the sniff, she got her reward. If we say, ooh, come back, sit, alright, now we can go.
Okay.
That for her was like, oh, I had to ask for it.
Yeah.
So that just helps us say, you can definitely go sniff that, see what's over there, because lots of owners will be like, well, the loose leash is great, but like, what about when they want to do something? Like, I don't wanna tell them no, and it's like, that's fine. Just ask them for a quick behavior, get some good obedience, and then we'll go do it.
Okay.
That just tells them, I have to be on my good behavior when I get something,
Okay.
instead of,
And then my last one is she'll try to jump on the counter when we're not in the room. What do you do about that?
So for her right now at her age, that's like putting a 3-year-old, which is doing this.
Okay.
She's like, nobody can smell me.
Yeah.
So we limit her access. If
Okay.
she's not quite ready to be in the kitchen area or the table wherever it's at, unfortunately, we'll shut the doors or
Okay.
do you do crates?
So you're gonna laugh. We did, and then the last 2 weeks before this, she wouldn't get in the crate for me anymore because she doesn't want to sit there all day.
Gotcha. So we had a couple of times when she would like put the brakes on for the
Yes,
room.
and sit down.
Yes, we did Hansel Gretel with breadcrumbs. So nice, yummy treat. One, two, three. And we raised our energy to get a little bit more amped up, more excited. Look, we're going this way.
Okay.
So we would kind of toss a treat. She'd be like, whoa, treat? We're going this way. And get her excited.
Okay.
So we can encourage that in the crate. And then another thing I would say is when we're not using her kibble, say you have a busy morning and you just gotta give her some food. That's okay. We'll put it in the crate.
Okay.
All good things. Every time you get in the crate, good things, treats, kibble, all of that. Except for mom, because we don't want her to associate. No, mom, please. So it's important to add those good things in there when we want her to get in the crate. It's okay if she resists it first. We just want to show her like, well, this is the option. If we allow her to say no thanks, and then we let her get away with that, she's gonna say, well, you just tell mom I don't want to.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Which you didn't know what to do in that scenario. You're like, she just doesn't. But we'll breadcrumb her. If that's not working, then we need to raise our value. So if the treat was like, she looked at it and was like, yeah, right, cheese.
Okay.
Something really good, just enough to get her in there. And then we say, good girl, give her her kibble. She wants it, she doesn't, she doesn't.
Okay.
But that tells her, well, at least every time I go in here, something great happens.
Yeah.
Always gives me this big bowl of food or cheese. So we did that trick with her, getting her to the point where we had these little dried lambs, and we just, and she was like, whoa.
What did she not want to do? I'm laughing. Was it like a kennel?
Yeah, she just like put the brakes on for the cabin. She was like, you're not coming with me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and she was like, this is where the people are. And she was like, I think I'll just stop here. I'm just gonna, and it wasn't like she yanked back or anything. She would just sit and be like dead weight.
That's what she does. And I'm like, I can't hear you.
And so we just had everyone practice, like even the back, we were like, the last thing you want to do is drag them because that makes the experience not fun.
Well, I did that once.
Well, if you have to,
Yeah.
like you can't leave her just wherever, so it's like, you gotta do what you have to do. And that just tells her like, sorry, but mom said this was partial. You gotta do what mom says. And if we can take that though and turn it into like, fun, this is a good time, she'll be like, wait, last time you led me over here, I got cheese. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna remember this. So for her, just building those positive associations of great, look, I always come back, you always get good stuff. That'll help her process through that. Not one mother. She's just like, I know that when I go in there, you're gone. Which that's all she wants. It has nothing to do with like, I don't like the crate. She just knows crate means mom has to go.
Yeah.
And so once we tell her a good practice too is sometimes crate doesn't mean mom has to go. Occasionally I put you in there, I'm still in the house.
Yeah.
And then you just come out in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Practicing those little exercises will make it easier when it's time to go. And she's like, last time it was only 5 minutes, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oops, see you later. But for them, they don't have the concept of, it's been 10 minutes, it's been 20 minutes, and she's still not back.
Yeah.
It's just varying it makes them a little bit more like, I think it's almost time. Which tends for them to go easy. It's not always.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
long.
yeah.
And so when we make it, sometimes owners will experience it when they only use the crate when they go to work, the dog starts to figure out, they're gone for a really long time during this. So if we just increase her crate, which seems backwards, it just tells her, crate sometimes for a long time, sometimes short time. This thing is just fun.
Well, I laugh because she wouldn't go in the crate, but I had like a video on her, and she'd go in the crate a little bit later.
She's like,
I'm like, just get in.
yeah.
You're in it 90% of the time anyways.
And like just leaving it open, you might do these things already. Leaving it open when she's just out and about. She wants to go take a nap. If she doesn't, it's open if you want to. Most dogs look at it as their den skills once they figure it out. I get out all the time. I get in here whenever I want. But that's funny that she had started the brakes at home because we were
Yes.
like, this is hilarious.
Yep,
So,
that started recently.
yeah, we just started breadcrumbing and we were like, yeah, it's not like she tries to break out. She's just like, I don't really want to go yet.
Yeah, and she does like dead weight. I finally was like telling my husband, like, you have to put her in before you leave because I can't get her in.
And so we also did jackpot. So once she got to the place we needed her to, the cabin, tons of fun put it. That way she was like, oh, this was the goal. I get everything here. So we do like little pieces along the way. Get to the cabin, here's 3 big ones. And then that way it was like, cool, okay, at least I got those.
Okay.
But that should help out a little bit more at home. we encourage too, once they're back, when you can, practice the marker word, focus and attention with their daily kibble. Again, like I said, she's like, no thanks. That doesn't mean we give her the bowl, because what she's telling us is, I'm not good at that. So when we give her that bowl, lots of dogs will eat it, because it's a bowl of food. So they're like, yummy.
Yeah.
But what that has for us is decreases her food motivation, because she's like, I'm not really hungry, but I'm gonna eat. So then when mom asks me to do something, I don't care about the treat.
Yeah.
So if we hold it and say, a couple hours, she'll be hungrier. Try around lunchtime, she's most likely hungry. Now, we get to the end of the day, and she's like, I still haven't eaten.
Yeah.
But, you know, don't ever feel bad for holding her food for a little while, seeing when she's gonna get hungry, because all that means is, I'm just not hungry right now, I had enough for you.
Yeah.
Same situation where if you're training and she's like, nah, I'm good. We just went a little bit too far. Her attention span is short, she's young. So that'll grow as she ages. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sweet spot for training. You
Okay.
always want to end on a positive note. So if you've done focus and attention, you practice her sits, and she's like losing focus, you can tell she's getting full. Just ask her for one more simple thing. Ask her for a quick sit. Yes, good girl, well done. And then put the treats up, good to go. But using that kibble for her daily training will help not use so many treats. Because then when we pull out the kibble, she's like, okay, go get the cheese or something, I don't want that. So if we incorporate the kibble and then put it up when she's like, no thanks, that will help her food motivation. So that when times come and you need her to do something, I don't have the kibble, she'll do it. Versus only train with the treat, she's like, that's just gross. But I'll go grab her, we'll show you what we got going on, and I'll just slowly bring her in so you can greet her and then we'll practice.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. So I'm going to show you quite a few things of what we've practiced on. I really just like at home before she comes back for the rest of her training. The only things I really want you to work on if you're like, we got to do some training, is that marker word, focus and attention, and then recall, which I'll show you.
Okay.
I know that's your mommy. Remi! Yes! Wait. Remi! And even this for a puppy is like incredible because she's not yanking this leash. She's at the end, but she's not like, whoa, I'm gone, which is good. She's able to have a little bit more control. Remi! Yay! Good girl.
She likes that thing.
Yes. She's so funny because she's like, it'll fall in there eventually. And what I'm actually going to do is, if Nikki, if she's like Nikki, it's a little handful of mom. And then when we get up to you,
Do we stand up or no?
you can just stay sitting. When she looks like she's going up, just drop a few on the floor.
Okay.
Yes. Good job.
Oh, but then I put on the ground? All of it or
Just a couple. And then if she looks again,
What about there?
right there, you were a little more excited in the kibble. So
Oh,
that's
sorry.
okay. No, you're fine.
Oh, That's a natural.
And what you're doing here?
What about that?
Now we are touching. Perfect, perfect. Yes.
Good job, Remi. And you're so clean.
Isn't she? She smells good. And so if you notice, once you're loving on her, that she starts to jump and get excited,
Uh-huh.
we just pause, hands off, and we just use this for a second.
Okay.
That should naturally lower her level.
Okay.
Now, if, like you were saying, you're at home, she's going crazy, crazy excited, keeps jumping on you, that's when you stand up and just boop. And
Okay.
you just stand to prevent her from falling all over.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
Good job, Remi. Good girl. So awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just go over a little bit of what we
Oh, yeah,
practiced with
perfect.
her. Ready? Yes. So right there was a little bit of focus and attention and recall.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you what it would look like practicing hardboard and focus and attention. Hardboard, like I said, easiest for them, easiest for you. Yes. And you'll start to see, like, she's practiced this for a couple days now, so yes. She starts to look at me to be like, you got one? Yes. So practicing this at home. Dogs are very environment oriented, so she knows this here. At home is going to be a new subject.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she's restarting, but she just has to familiarize. Oh, we do this game here too.
Okay.
So once we practice, you see that she's like totally in, you lock in, yes. Then we move on to focus and attention. So like I said, that's her name. Yes. She's offering me eye contact already, so I want to reward her for that. If we're able to hold her attention, yes. With high distractions like a friend or family, yes. That's what we want. So if I can kind of get her distracted, maybe, which is what we want. Remi! Yes. So I just waited until her eyes met mine. Yes, okay. For her right now, that's short, so she just has to make eye contact. Once she starts developing that skill, so you practice inside, she's really good at it. You can ask for it for her. So Remi. Yes, good job. So that will just help extend or lead the culture or something.
Okay.
So next is recall. So those two you can practice at home, and then this one. The rest that I'm going to show you, I'm not sure if you'll overwhelmed, like you have to practice it. Because we do most of that here. We just want to show you what she's working on.
Yeah.
Remi! Yes! Good girl! So that's her recall. She was distracted. I called her name, waited until she showed me that she was attentive towards me. Here. Yes. And so the difference between the recall is that we want to be the cheerleader yes, all the way. So she doesn't have to be back at you when you tell her yes. Okay. You'll cheer her the whole way because coming back to you is always the most important, best, most fun thing in the world ever.
Okay.
Just in case she ever got out the front door, stayed in the backyard, if she knows that everything good comes from you, you always get so excited, it's such a fun game, we have no worries about she's gonna lose with the recall.
Okay.
So we just have to work up to that, tell her that every single time, even as short as it is, goes in. So for her, we start that inside with less distraction. We always encourage, Remi, yes, to use a leash just as an extra control. So if she's super distracted, what we would do is we take the leash, we reel her in, yes, good girl, and
Okay.
still pay her. So lots of times owners make a mistake, and it's just because in their heads they're rewarding for something they shouldn't have. So like say she's not listening and she's not coming back. We either have to reel her in or we have to go get her. She still gets a reward. Because we never want her to think that when we come to you or you come back to us, something bad happens. We never want that to click in her head. So even if you have to go all the way out back and get her collar, put her inside, she still gets a treat or a love or anything to say, look,
Okay.
you did it.
Yeah. Okay.
So even if she's distracted, you have to use the leash to reel her in. Yes, honey, good job. Good job. So I'll show you again for that recall. Remi! Yes! Good girl! So that time I knew she was coming back to me, so I just said yes. But what that would look like, I waited until I could tell that I had her attention. So if I said here, while she's eating a treat, she's like, there's something over here, I'm busy.
Yeah.
But if I give her that chance to focus on me, then I can ask her, Remi, here, yay, good job, good girl.
So you say here?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we do our hands straight to our leg. The
Okay.
goal there, yes, is that if I had to grab a collar, put a leash on, pick her up, whatever,
Okay.
I have the ability to do it from right here versus if she's right there and I go and she's like, ah, and it just takes off.
Okay.
So we always like them to come all the way. Yes, good job. So that if in an emergency situation, leash on, we're ready.
Okay.
So that one you'll practice indoors. You can have the leash on. If you're like, she didn't totally feel it, you'll have to have the leash inside. Then I always encourage adding it outdoors. So
Okay.
practice, then we move on to backyard. Short distance. Then we go bigger distance in the backyard. Third comes front yard. That's, whoa, that's a lot more money.
Yeah.
We think of it as like grade levels. So for her, indoor, first grade, we're killing it. We take our little math test. Now backyard, we're getting into fifth grade. That's a lot. That's many distractions. Somewhere she's usually used to just doing her thing.
Yeah.
Front yard's like, whoa, we're in middle school. Dude, that's a lot. For her, we just have to work those grade levels up. Once she's passing those tests, then she can advance.
Okay.
She's like, I'm showing you my down one. So these are ones that we'll get more into further in her stay. Yes. She is very motivated, so that's a great thing for us. Good job. Good. She made a mistake, she jumps. I just don't pay her at first.
Okay.
But once I get a better behavior, her sitting there acting good, then she gets paid. I would show you, but she's already in it. That's her sit. So our sign for that is sit. Good. And what we'll get more into when she comes back for the rest of her stay is implied stays. So instead of asking your dog to stay, we train them to say that sit means sit until you hear your word that means doesn't.
Okay.
So their break word is free, F-R-E-E. So for her, the same is going to apply for her place, which is what I barely introduced her to. She's able to get up there, and then we start adding distance, distractions, stuff like that later in their step. Yes. So the first steps of guiding her on here. Yes. As soon as she gets those 4 paws, she gets paid. Yes. And then it's all about keeping her up there. Yes. Until, yes, she hears the magic word, free. Good girl. So that free word is going to be what she'll use for her sits, her downs, all of that.
Okay.
Right now, she's still getting that foundation down, so don't expect to be able to sit her and walk across the room.
Okay.
But that, yes, helps owners sometimes to be like, oh, so I don't have to turn around and remember to keep telling them those things.
Yeah.
Yes. So we work them up of saying, what do we need? Of saying, that means that until you hear your release word. Yes. So we practice her sits and her downs. Yes. Good girl. And then we just briefly introduce, yes. That implies stay. Yes. Yes. Great. Good job, Remi. And so for her, it's also her age, but in general, dogs need a warm up, like athletes do, get them stretched. So at home, if you're wanting to train with her and work with things, it's probably a good idea to start with a couple marker words just right off the bat. Give her some free ones, be like, hey, we're working. Get an easy focus and attention, and then jump into bigger skills, sit, recall, all of that. We do the same thing here every session. So each session we pull her out, we do a couple easy things to be like, look, we're having fun, we're doing that thing again. And so for her, it's like, oh, okay, I'm ready. And so once we see that I'm ready, that's when we start giving her the more challenging skills or adding in new things.
Okay.
Big girl. And then I'm gonna have Nikki join me to show you a little bit of what you can practice for the jumping.
Okay.
I have some curriculum in you. And so that one method that we were talking about is to ask her for a sit right away. That's kind of hard for new guests or when your hands are full, you've got stuff going on, whatever, when you have her. Good. That just helps her know, oh, I have to do something before they give me all the pets and everything. And it gives her a thought before she gets the chance to jump. Now, another option that I was telling you about that might be a little bit easier when you're just like, I can't ask her for all this. I'm gonna walk her up to Nikki, she's gonna be a little bit excited, and then she's gonna show you what you can do to get her back.
Okay.
way she starts coming up to people thinking, I either need to sit or I need to just keep all fours on the floor.
Okay.
And that will help her, one, be consistent, but two, get something. You know, she's used to saying, when we were as little, the jumping was fun and cute and we liked it and petty. And so now she's like, where about the pets go?
Yeah.
So once we tell her, pets will help her stay on the floor, that will start to click in her mind.
Okay.
It's all about consistency though, like I said. So if we have guests coming over, we just need to remember, she might have just had a reset. She might be some short these next couple days.
Yeah, and it kind of changes like their muscle memory. If they're used to practicing it's kind of like their habit, and so
Right.
now they're practicing. Oh, good stuff down here.
Okay.
And you'll start to see her mind working. So when she came up to me, she was like, last time you told me to do this thing. So she did. And that's why expectations, if we have sometimes that she gets to jump, sometimes she doesn't, that's where we see dogs keep trying, because they're like, well, it worked that one time. It worked that one time.
Yeah.
So they'll keep trying until they realize, it doesn't work any of these times, dang it.
Okay.
And so for her, that'll just take time, but she's already seeing the progress here. Like when she walks up to one of our staff members, she tends to be like, or one of these moves, she's like, did you ever drop anything? But it also gives guests the ability to pet her when she does that.
Yeah.
Because as we walk up, you still have a couple kibbles.
Yeah.
Perfect. When we walk back up to them, everybody wants to see her, she's so cute. But we just have to ask her for something. So if they're like, I really want to see her, here. And let them sprinkle it so that, as you can see, when I walk up, she begins to stop. Yes,
Okay.
because she's busy. Now, important, when they stop, they need to ask her for something or be prepared to drop one.
Okay.
That way, she's not getting used to treats on the floor, yay! Treats on the floor, yay!
Okay.
Because if we allow her to get that jump and then we sprinkle, kind of just reward it for it.
Uh-huh.
So we just have to remember, ask her for a sit, she really did that. Yes, good job. And then, like I said, anxiety. That's what you're gonna have your guests do when she does that. They don't get anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't get even their attention. But what I was going to say too is, for her, it's just about, about our excitement level. So if I get really excited, Remi, she might tip over backwards, or she might jump up. But it's just important to know, what are we expecting out of her? If we're coming in really hot and excited, she might want to get hot and excited up with us.
She almost did. She got her shot.
Good job. But if I come in with a little bit less energy, doesn't even feel like she's gonna jump up. Good job. So there's a little bit of leash walking. We barely started that, so I'm very impressed with you.
Good girl, Remi. Okay, so for like future, does she need to come for like 2 weeks at a time, or can we do it in like increment type things?
I think we could do the, week and then week. I
Okay.
have to double check with Layla, so she'll, you reach out to you and make sure.
Okay, perfect.
Get that all scheduled, and if there was any, like, questions wise here, she'll be sending the notes over, so she'll communicate all of that, and then we'll make sure she's on pace with leader. We typically do the 2 weeks together, but she is young, so I think it would be possible to.
I only meant because my kids were like, when are we getting her back?
Oh, yeah, and we have done too, where like they stay for the 2 weeks, but we go home for the week.
Okay.
And they can see them, I get that. But you can practice with kids, look at these 2 new exercises that you get to do with them now.
Exactly.
Super fun, and that will help decrease the jumping, but still give her something that's super fun when the kids want to see it.
Okay.
I think too, that sprinkling will be beneficial for you guys because it needs to better.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have to wait and everybody has to just be calm.
Right.
So if we can get her to be calm, they still get their wiggles out, that
Yeah.
might be good for her.
One other thing I was asked, it's the kids' fault, but the kids' toys will be on the ground and she'll chew them. How do you address her with that? Cause half the time you walk into it and it's already done.
Right.
Do you have to catch her in the act?
You do,
Okay.
unfortunately, so if she already did it, already chewed it up, too late. If we catch her doing it, we'll trade her. So she's not in trouble because we know it was us or the kids that left it there. But we'll trade her so that she doesn't consume something she shouldn't or whatever. Say she's got their toy that she shouldn't have. Wait for her to spit that out. Training, I think it's fine.
So that just tells her, we don't.
Oh, you can just trade her with the food. Okay, perfect.
Any food that works. If she's like, trade her for it.
Okay. I was thinking I had to trade her for another toy. I'm like, buy toys for her.
No. You can use food, whatever will make her stand out. So you
Okay.
can even grab a piece of bread off the counter if you want to. Just whatever for her to say, oh, she took that thing, but I still like her.
Yeah.
You just never want her to feel like whenever I come up, I steal your things, and that's all.
Yeah.
Because then that's when we see dogs with our resource guarding and say, I'm gonna go hide this because you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
So if we say, ooh, not yours, but I got this.
Oh yeah, she's definitely not hiding it. She's right in plain sight.
And then for them, it's just about teaching the kids cleaning up their toys is hard. So
Exactly.
shutting the door for now. If like they're in the middle of their game time and I'm like, can't clean that up. Cool, shut your door.
Exactly.
We just limit her, like, she's a big puppy, so it's hard too, because we're like, look at her, she's giant, she knows what to do. She does, she's a little girl. So it's about her expectations of saying, ooh, really, bedrooms, that's a lot of space for a little puppy. And so she's like, that's a lot of space for a little puppy, and she's having to deal with that.
Yeah.
So for her age, we just have to limit her freedom a little more until she shows us that she can have it. So that might be, maybe she's in the living room for now, and then when we have guests and toys and puzzles out, we gotta bring the kennel for a little.
Okay.
Totally fine, kennel's not punishment, as long as she's gotten her potties, her needs, all that's met. Kennel's never punishment, it can be like 30 minutes, oh, we're gonna play this game, and I know you're gonna chew your legs. Boom. So if you're ever concerned that what you have out and you cannot put it up, you can't put finer, right, she will. And that will be your best friend, because she just can't handle that level of freedom right yet. And once she shows us that she can, then we start being able to leave the doors open. But for her right now, it's like, oh god, you left my toys around, I'm gonna go find them, you bought me a toy?
Exactly.
And then they're like, so we just confine her freedom a little more, maybe all the bedroom doors are shut, but she gets through them with the other dogs. Something else we encourage puppy owners to do if they struggle with like, which she just wants to keep, put leash on. Because
We
leash
never
and
have
doors.
that.
Right.
She hovers.
Okay, I didn't think so, she seems like she likes to be in there.
Yes.
But for
Right
any
on my
time
hip.
that you're like, ooh, we need a little bit more control, leash indoors, and that'll help you out.
Okay. Is she like big or small for her age? Really?
Good choices.
So then once they walk away, you.
As soon as she shows me that she's able to keep herself on the ground, like right there, that was good. She got excited that she was able to stay down. Now when I come up, that's often when we see the jumping. Good. So if I jump, she gets rewarded, and I can kind of see she move. So I got one ready to step back, but two, sprinkle, good girl, or ask her for the sit.
Okay.
But like Nikki said, this just trains her mind to say, when I walk up to people, I'm not supposed to go here. I'm supposed to start from the seats.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So it's here and then sit?
So we got sit. Yes. Remi, here. Yes. So the main key of that recall is yes, that hand down, but also waiting till you can tell you have attention.
Okay.
So if we do, and we're just saying it, for her, she's like, if you don't have her attention, I'm gonna be over here doing what I wanna do. I didn't hear you. So if we get her name, get her attention, we ask here, yes. And then we're gonna cheerlead the whole way home.
Okay.
The only last one was that focus and attention, which you'll practice this inside again, it's the same process as like the recall. Start inside, then you go to backyard, then you go to front yard, you grade level her up as she pass the test. Or if you're just hanging out at home, if you see her and she's like, hi, Bubbles, hi. Don't worry, tell her she's doing good, just because she's checking in with you, being like, but that's majority of what she
Awesome.
practiced here. And so when she comes back, we'll level up those skills like place, like leash walking. So that's why I don't want you to worry too much now
Okay.
about trying to get her somewhere. We'll take care of that when she's back.
Okay.
Sweet girl. And then from there on, if you just wanna work on the marker board, focus attention, and the middle recall, that'll help us when she comes back, being able to start on the point.
Okay, good.
But the main thing for her will be just making sure everyone's consistent with the jump.
Okay.
And then you'll definitely see a decrease there. Are you gonna be the sweetest girl? All right there. She's about to, so she just loses my attention for a second. That's okay. Okay, girl.
Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. You were so soft.
She is. I love it. She was soft when she got here, but she's even softer now.
She was so dirty. I was like,